Good morning, is it from Zetster's Lab? Another beautiful day in Zetster's land. I must confess, all these confessions. We went to visit friends yesterday, late afternoon, and we had a little wine and too much meat. And I ate 2 pieces of cake. So for someone who's not really using sugar, I had this splitting headache the whole night. So yes, I feel a little bit offish this morning, still excited about the day. And the whole night I was awake for hours with this splitting headache. And I couldn't sleep, and then it was by taking the dogs out and then trying to sleep again. But this whole time, I received a message the other day, a revelation, call it. Something just clicked, and I just realized something, and it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. And the whole night I was sharing this message. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I was sharing this message in my spirit. It was just amazing, and I couldn't wait to get here into my little workspace to work on my painting that I've started yesterday. I'll give you a small peek. There they are. So it's getting there. Still need a little bit finishing touches here and there, but I'm very happy and very excited about that. But let's get back to the message. We create our own storms, and I didn't understand that. I read it somewhere, it spoke to me, but I didn't really understand it. How can we create our own storms? And then the other day, I actually wrote about this. Some of you read it, but I just need to share it and put it on YouTube too. Sometimes I just get this urge, I need to do something. And if I don't do it, the urge doesn't go away. So yes, I'm doing it now. I'm telling this message, call it what you want. So how do we create our own storms? And now I'm going back to remember the story of Jesus and his followers, or his friends. Call them friends. Jesus and his friends, they were in the same boat. They were in this boat, crossing the sea, going to the other side. Okay? So what happened while they were all in the same boat? A storm came. In the natural, something happened that really wasn't easy to handle. Call it that. Then we come back to, I need to share this first. In the beginning, we were told exactly what not to do. Do not eat of the wrong tree. Do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, where you decide what is good and what is bad, where you decide to play God, to be God, to create your own God in your own image by believing things are either good or bad. And then you create this God that will bless you when you do the real good things that you believe is good, and you will be cursed if you don't do it or do wrong things. So don't eat of that tree. We were told in the beginning, because what's going to happen? We're going to die. The life in us, the abundant, everlasting life that is us, that is who I am. That is who you are. We are this life. We just manifest in this realm as Izet or whoever you are. So the moment we start to judge anything as either good or bad, that's the thing, that tree's got 2 sides, the good side and the bad side. Don't judge anything as either good or bad, because then you will cut yourself off, block the abundant life that is in you, there to guide you, provide for you, give you peace and joy and love, whatever you may need to live a victorious life in this realm, in this moment. That's the crux of the matter, in this moment. Okay, so let's get back to the people on the boat. So they were all in the same earthly situation. Something happened and it was a tough situation. The same, we all go through life and we all face tough situations at times. Then we call them storms, we call the situation storms, and then we pray and fast and beg God to get us out of that situation. And that was exactly what happened. The people on the boat, Jesus was asleep, he was at total peace, he was sleeping in the boat. The same earthly situation he was going through that the others were going through. They saw the situation and their minds started to take over. Their minds started racing to and fro from the past to the present. They were thinking, we're going to die. This is the biggest storm we've ever been in. We're never going to get through this. God help us, get us out of this storm. And things of the past that they went through, that the mind went there and they brought those fear into that moment that they were in. Their minds ran into the future, and what if the boat's going to sink? What if we're not going to get through this? What if we're going to die, we're not going to make it? And they create their own storm. I mean, they went through a situation. Life happens. That we need to know. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes we need to face a huge mountain and we go over the mountain. And so yes, living in this realm is not always easy. But the minute we judge anything as bad, we bring into it, we don't want to be here. I don't want to go through this. I don't. And we start to blame everybody. We blame the government and everything and everyone and ourselves. Oh, the condemnation. I didn't pray hard enough. And I didn't do this. And I didn't do that. And that's why I'm here. And in our minds, we create the storm. The storm is not the earthly situation we find ourselves in. That I didn't realize. The storm is what we create around the situation that we are physically in. Let's take COVID for instance. Okay, we are all in this worldwide pandemic, call it whatever you want, COVID. And it really has shook our lives, all of us. I mean, it's not easy. You need to cope with whatever you need to cope. But once again, the spirit life in us said, I will lead you, I will guide you, I will provide for you. Whatever you need to face in this realm, I'm there for you. Fear not. That is what the life in us is saying. You've got what it takes to get through your moment. Now, whether you are in a worldwide pandemic or not, I'm there for you. Okay? That's the truth. But now we've got the mind. And the minute we realize the mind is our enemy, we're there already. The mind, our emotions, our ego, that is our enemy. And that they are always against the life in you. Always, always. That's the enemy. The whole Bible, everything is about that fight that you have against the ego, Satan or ego, against the abundant life in me. Call it the Christ life. Call it my Father which are in heaven. Call it your life source. That is what we are. But now we're in this COVID. So now the mind, we read all these things. What we read, we respond to what we read about what's happening there. This one is saying this and this. And our emotions get involved, and we go back to the past, and we go back run into the future of what if, and what if we have it, and there we create our storm. Our mind creates the storm. Back to Jesus. They in the storm. Jesus, come and help us. We're in the storm. Take COVID away. We don't want to be in this situation. We hate this situation. We're going to lose our lives. We're going to lose our house, our livelihood. Our children's going to die. The world is not going to make it. And we create this storm in our mind because we judge the situation, COVID, or a sickness, or whatever, immediately as bad, and our emotion get involved, our mind get involved, and we create this huge storm. So much so that we are in such fear, we are in absolute hell. That is what it is. Because of the fear that we've created by listening to our minds and believe the lies that the mind is telling us. Remember, people are not your enemy. The government is not the enemy. Nobody and nothing can do anything to you except when your mind chooses to believe it. And you create your storm. So the situation that Jesus and his friends were in, let's say they were in COVID. To them, it was a huge storm. It was, they're going to die, they're not going to make it. They judge it over and over, and they add things and absolute craziness until they were in such hellish state that they want to die. And they ran to Jesus and they said, but don't you care? We're dying. And the awesome thing is that I read, Jesus didn't care. Not about them, but I mean about the storm. To him, he didn't see it as a storm. He didn't judge the earthly situation as either good as bad. He just saw it for what it is. Okay, we're now in COVID. This is what they say. How am I going to get through this situation? And he knows at that stage, he's learned and whatever, that his Father's life in him, the same life that's in me and in you, will guide him. Will guide him minute by minute. Now, in the now, always in the now. Our life is only in the now. And that's why over and over we're told, still the mind. The mind is the enemy. Guard your heart. Still your mind. Be still and know all is well. Do not allow your mind to get into the lies of your mind. That's the enemy. Your enemy runs around, comes in the middle of the night or in a time that's dark. It's a hard time for you. And the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy your life. So, I have no idea about COVID and if I'm going to get COVID and if Herman's going to get COVID or my kids or what the actual virus thing, whatever they call it, what it is, I don't know. But I don't have it now. Now in this minute, I am absolutely fine. And I have learned to not listen to my mind. Oh gosh, sometimes with other things, oh yes, I'm all over the place and I'm standing here before you as if I've arrived. Believe you me, I've got my own demons to fight and issues, and when you least expect it, something happens and you go off and you create the storm. So yes, I do it too. But With COVID, I've learned day by day, moment by moment. Do not listen to my mind that's telling me all this craziness. Because really, if you read and listen to everything that everybody is saying, the mainstream media, the governments, the people that's in fear, all the rules, all the regulations, every country is different, everything's got to have a different opinion. So if you allow all those things to enter into your mind and your emotions, it's going to kill and destroy you. That is what it's going to do. And then that is your storm. It's not the physical whatever sickness or virus that can or cannot touch you physically in this body. But it's the storm that you create by believing and blowing this thing up to a proportion that is placing you in so much fear that you cannot hear and feel and experience the abundant life that is in you, that you already have, to help you through whatever situation you are in this moment. So yes, what happens if I now get the virus? Then that minute, I will have whatever it takes to deal with it. The Spirit in me will guide me, will show me what to do. I will receive the power. I will receive healing, or the power to, the wisdom to take this medicine, or to go to this hospital, or whatever I need to do at that moment, I will have in that moment to experience peace and joy in the midst of having COVID. Do you understand what I'm saying? I will have whatever it takes to deal with every earthly situation that I may find myself in, no matter how hard it may be. Yes, as I say once again, gosh, things can be hard, and it is. We need to go through many, many hard situations, but we don't have to make them into a storm. Because that verse that's also in the Bible that says, thousands will fall next to you, but I will keep you safe. It doesn't mean, thousands are now going to die around me of COVID and I'm not going to get COVID because I believe I'm not going to get COVID. What it means is, in this situation, thousands and millions will die, go crazy because of them listening to their minds and emotions. The enemy will come in and they will destroy them. While they build this huge storm in their minds, the mind will destroy them. But I will keep you safe. The Spirit in me is telling me and you and everybody else, if you still your mind, don't listen, focus on the life in you, and in this minute, just trust and have faith that the life in you is leading you, guiding you, providing for you now. And fear, the enemy will not get into your house. Even if you get COVID, or a cancer, or whatever, or you lose your house, or you lose your job. Those are things that happen in this realm to people. Or your child turns out differently than you believe, or want him to turn out, or whatever. That is just the facts that is happening in this realm, and we have inside of us what we need to cope and thrive and victoriously go through those things. Or we can ignore the life in us because we don't know this truth yet. And we can listen to our mind and allow our mind to drive us crazy, sick, hysterical, place us in hell. And that is our storm. The storm is not what we go through in this realm. So even if you pray, oh, get us out of COVID, or stop COVID, or get the vaccine, or I don't know what, it's not going to save you from your mind. There's going to be a next thing you created. If you don't realize who your real enemy is and realize the abundant life that you have in you. Jesus said, what I have, you have. My Father's life is your life. He came here to show us how to live abundantly in this earthly realm, in the midst of wars, death, sickness, whatever it may be. But the minute we judge those things as bad, we put ourselves, we start to build a storm around it. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is what it is, right? There's now this virus, I don't know where it come from, I do not, one thing I do know is I cannot trust anything that anybody is saying, because at this stage it's just total crazy, so I don't care. Really, I mean, I do what the Spirit in me leads me to do daily. Yes, I put on my mask when I go out because other people believe I should do it. So for them, I do it. I do what the Spirit allows me to do in the midst of this pandemic. But I do not allow fear to make this into a storm that's going to kill me and drive me insane and steal my peace and joy and power and life in me. Wow, sorry, I didn't want to go into 22 minutes, but this is just so mind-blowing. We need to blow our religious minds, our worldly minds that believe if the government, we get a new government, my life will be better. If I get a new husband, my life will be better. If COVID is now dealt with, I'm going to have a fantastic life. If we move to another country, I'm going to find the life there. The life is in us. We've got it. We came into this realm with an abundant life that is there to guide us, lead us, provide for us in this